Renato de Oliveira remembers never to forget what he lived. What seemed like just a dive on an ordinary day turned into an event that challenged his understanding of what life is in his near-death experience. In an instant, he was struggling to stay at the surface, with no strength to continue. The next moment, everything changed, and he began to feel an unusual peace while seeing his own body from above, with something guiding him back. There, even time lost its meaning, and there was a feeling of being in another reality. Hello, I'm Marcus, and it's a pleasure to have you here at Beyond the Life We Live. I hope you feel at home and absorb the lesson from the story we're about to share. By the way, leave a like and subscribe to the channel, as it's very important to us and helps bring more impactful stories to you. In 1995, in Ilhabela, on the coast of São Paulo, a man named Renato de Oliveira, who now lives in Florida and works as a supervisor in the electromechanical field, went through an extraordinary experience. That day, while on the beach with his wife and a couple of friends, being a good swimmer, he spotted an island and decided to swim there. On the way, there was a signaling buoy that, from the beach, appeared quite small. His plan was to swim to this buoy, rest on it, and then continue to the island. However, as he approached the buoy, he realized he was already extremely tired, and to his surprise, the buoy was much larger than it seemed, about the size of a vehicle. Every time he tried to grab onto it, the buoy drifted away, offering no support. On the second attempt, he sank and swallowed water. On the third, completely drained and in despair, he began sinking deeper and deeper. Descending to the colder, deeper waters at this critical moment, he started thinking about his mother and God, mentally saying,
"My God, this is it for me."
Then he blacked out and found himself in a dark place where he saw a distant light. As he watched this light, he noticed something dark passing in front of it, but couldn't identify what it was. Then his surreal experience began. He found himself floating above the water level, observing his own body swimming. His vision was focused, as though he were seeing through a circle, concentrating only on himself swimming, unable to see the beach or surroundings. During this moment, he felt an inexplicable peace, as if he were merely watching a normal scene without questions or worries. It was then that he heard a male voice coming from his left, commanding him to place his foot on the ground.
Put your foot on the ground, Renato.
Upon doing so, surprisingly, the water was only up to his knee. Renato found this very strange because normally, when swimming and moving the arms, one would feel the bottom with their hands, but he hadn't felt anything. When he left the water, Renato experienced a unique feeling, as though he were transitioning from one reality to another. He felt full of energy and vigor, as though he were a card outside the deck. While walking along the beach, he realized he was very far from where he had started swimming, near the southern tip of the beach. What was most intriguing was that no one seemed to notice anything extraordinary happening. When he finally found his wife and friends, he discreetly asked a friend if he had seen him enter the water. The friend said yes, but that he had gotten distracted talking and hadn't paid attention afterward. Renato chose not to share his experience at the time because back then there wasn't the same openness to discuss such events as there is today. Throughout the experience, he realized that time seemed irrelevant. Even afterward, while walking along the sand, everything felt like it was happening in slow motion, as though he were in an alternate reality. Renato didn't feel any tiredness or discomfort despite the long distance he had swum, nor did he show signs of having swallowed water during the near drowning. The experience left Renato intrigued for many years, especially the time span that he couldn't explain. As someone in the electromechanical field, accustomed to analyzing diagrams and schematics, he continued to try to understand what happened that day, and even today, nearly 30 years later, he still considers undergoing hypnosis to try to uncover more details about that curious event. And to this day, for him, what happened was a true miracle, something completely out of the ordinary that deeply marked him.